Please remain at least 6 feet away from your speakers at all times. This is Toad's COVID Chronicles.
Hey, this is Toad from Country AF Radio. During the pandemic, I sat down with a bunch of artists, got to get to know them a little bit better, including this guy right here. This is Mr. Rayne Johnson, the man behind Front Seat. We talked about new country music. We talked about his wife's influence on his music. Rather, input. That's probably a better word, input. We talked about TV shows and just how the internet knows exactly what we're doing. We also got some live music in here, too. Acoustic versions of songs you guys are going to grow to love. Let's get to know Rayne Johnson.
How's it going, man?
Dude, great, actually, considering everything that's going on. It's pretty damn good, right?
You got my bathroom in the background there. Is that okay?
That doesn't matter to me, dude. I like it. So, I mean, I just got this thing.
I like it. Yeah, that's it. At least you have like some sort of backdrop or something. Somebody asked me the other day, like, do you want to get a green screen? I'm like, I don't think that's necessary.
No, it's fine. Dude, it keeps it real, man. That's what I'm saying.
That was my exact response. I was like, you know what? I was like, I think I like to watch artists that I like to watch them in their house. You know, it's kind of cool.
Well, this gives them the opportunity to really kind of like see what's going on and that you're normal. And that was the whole point of all these. I don't know if you're familiar with Country AF Radio at all. Are you? Have you heard of it?
Yeah. Well, I've been informed, so that's good. Yeah.
That's what's rad. We've been around about 2 years now, and we're just in-app online, and it all stemmed from terrestrial radio not actually supporting new artists, and that's why we built the damn thing.
Very cool, man. No, I like it. Very, very cool.
Yeah, it's pretty rad. And the point of all these, we're calling them Toad's COVID Chronicles, and it's basically just talking to you guys to let everybody else know that you're kind of going through the same thing, and that we are, and that you're human, and that's the whole idea.
I wish I had a good mic to this. I have it, but I don't have it set up for this yet. I think that'd be cool. I'd probably sound a lot better.
Right. Well, you know, I use it. I made a studio at home because I'm on air every day from noon to 5.
Right.
But I just started like doing the interview thing last week via Zoom just because we can, you know?
No, it's so cool, man. Like I've done a few of these things, man. And it's actually, I've said it a million times. I hope that these don't go away. I think it's fun. It's cool, you know?
Right. I think we're all learning that, you know, you can work from home and get more stuff done. You can get to know that other people are superhuman too, that, you know, that even though we're all quarantined at home and the non-essentials of the world, I heard you're still working.
Yeah. I work for the railroad, so I'm still working. Yeah. I still gotta go chug it out every day, but it's fun. It's been good, you know.
What do you do at the railroad?
I work in a diesel locomotive shop. Yeah, man. So I've been doing that for a while. Wherever, I guess it's basically the best way I can explain it is like when you take your car and you get serviced or worked on, that's basically what we do on locomotives. Basically, you know, we're not a heavy repair shop, but we do routine maintenance and like parts change and stuff like that. So
that's kind of cool. I actually took my lunch break per se, hopped on my dirt bike, and right behind my house we have railroad tracks, and I know we're not supposed to ride too close to them, but I just cruised by one and
everybody does that around here too. I'm down with it, man. It's a good way to get from, like, there's a lot of people who travel the railroad tracks that are near my house to get to the place they want to ride at, you know?
Right. Yeah. I'm blessed enough to have desert in my backyard. I don't have to load up anything. I just get on it and ride.
Wild, man. That's wild. So are you like Las Vegas area? Is that what did I read right? Okay.
Yeah, I live in the outskirts of Vegas. I actually do a lot of the booking. I'm the one that you were supposed to play Friday night at Stoney's Rockin' Country. I'm the guy that booked you too. And I was kind of hoping we could have done this on Friday. That would have been rad because it would have been, you weren't here, but you were here, you know. Sort of.
I got you. We could. I mean, you want to do another one on Friday? We can. I don't care. Where do I score one of those sweet hats though? Those are sweet. I like that.
Dude, I will send you. I have no problem sending you. I actually have some with some that I think the bill is camo. I have some that this is camo. I mean, I can send you whatever you want.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to be a beggar, but pick one and I'll rock it for sure. I like the flat bill type style.
Yes. Yeah. I like it because it's mesh back too. That's the other thing I like.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm on it.
Hell yeah, because it's hot, dude. What have you been doing? Like, other than working, are you writing? Are you doing like Zoom shows? What are you doing?
Music stuff wise, I've just been doing. I have Zoom meetings with the band and stuff like that. We try. It's supposed to be productive, but it normally turns out to just being like fun and hanging out and kind of drinking and just, you know, that's what's became my weekends. Instead of like doing anything on the weekend, it's Zoom hangouts, you know. I've been doing some writing sessions on Zoom type things or FaceTime just with my buddies or whatever. Trying to better myself at guitar at home on my personal level. And I have here in the last week or so, we've been allowed. I was in the studio last week working on some vocal stuff. We've been, you know, those things are a little bit more acceptable here right now. We don't have to be like, we're supposed to be self-quarantined sort of, but I've been able to go to the studio. No one's in the room. They're in the control room, that kind of stuff. So we've been being productive on the music end, you know.
Where are you at right now?
I'm Southwest Ohio.
Okay.
So I'm about 4 hours from Nashville.
I have a weird question for you. Are you Ohio State Buckeyes fan?
I am not.
Dude, I like you even more.
I'm not. So with me living here, I don't dog them and like say, you know, I hate the Buckeye. But I mean, I'm not a Buckeye fan.
Do you watch college sports at all?
Yeah. You said you like me already, but I'm gonna tell you what fan I am of, and maybe it'll change back. I'm a big Alabama fan.
That's okay. No problem with that. As long as it's not USC or Ohio State, I'm cool. I actually almost went to the USC Alabama game a couple years ago when they played at Texas Stadium, just so I could.
Really?
I'm not really a fan of either. I'm a Nebraska fan by heart.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like
I have a funny Nebraska story. I was playing a show one time, and I always used to introduce my drummer from different places all the time.
right.
Like, I would just pick a place, you know, and we were playing. It was a bar. It was a great crowd. It was a hopping night, and I like in the middle of a big solo, I'm like, all the way from Nebraska, give it up, you know.
Right.
And you know, it was nothing. I didn't even think anything about it, you know. Well, later on that night, this guy like jokingly comes up to me like he was mad, but he wasn't really mad. He comes up, he's like, dude, man, you're such a jerk, man. And I'm like, what did I do, man? He's like, you said your drummer was from Nebraska. I mean, we're in Ohio. I mean, this is
Right.
back when I was like gigging around at home, you know. He's like, you said your drummer was from Nebraska, and I was like, finally somebody from Ohio knows from Nebraska. And he went up to my drummer, was like, dude, you're from Nebraska, and he's like,
no.
dude, I don't know what you're like. My drummer didn't even remember that I'd even said that. You know what I mean?
That's actually pretty freaking funny, to tell you the truth.
Are you a Nebraska fan because you're from there, or like?
I'm not. You know what? My best friend in high school, I'm actually from California. My best friend from high school moved out here, got me like really into him. And I used to go to a game every year, and either at home or away. And I've just been a fan ever since, like, yeah,
Cool.
way back in the 80s.
I'm a fan because of one of my friends, one of my best buddies. He had a connection with Alabama, and he was always diehard Alabama fans. Like, all right, it's like 10 years ago. I'm like, all right, I'll do it, man.
Right.
I don't really have a team. Let's go.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't like USC and I don't like Ohio State. I don't say that I don't like people that like those teams, but I don't like people that like those teams.
Do you not like Ohio? I know we're probably still going to talk about this forever, but do you not like Ohio State because of their fans? Is that why?
No, it's dude. I mean, here's my thing, dude. You take a guy like Reggie Bush who gets his Heisman taken away because his coach cheated and paid, and you got the same thing with Ohio State. I mean, they are a great program. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, at the end of the day,
I understand. Hey, I understand, man.
yeah. When you're a college football fan, I think it's just a whole different level. I mean, I don't go this crazy over pro sports, that's for sure. But
I don't either, man. When it's football season and Alabama's doing well, I'm on the top.
You're on the wagon.
I'm probably the annoying fan who's like, you know what I mean? But oh well, yeah. I'm like downstairs with all my Alabama gear on, watching the game. You know, got the pom things. I'm shaking them. You know?
Dude, growing up in music, I think I read something that you sang in your church.
Yeah.
You loved or maybe like listened to a lot more R&B than anything, and what, classic country?
Yeah, man. Like, so my dad's side was like he always had classic country playing, which he had a water hauling business. I don't even know if they even know what that is, but he hauled water to people's homes that had like cisterns and stuff. So I remember riding around in the water truck with him.
Right.
He was always listening to classic country. That was his thing. So I went through a stage of like, that's hard because I just learned those 3-chord songs. That's kind of how I learned how to play guitar. And I had tons and tons of those records to listen to. And then my mom, she was like saying we were like a gospel type church. So she had that like soul vibe sort of, which drew me to that side. So then I started like listening to like, I don't know, man, like Casey and JoJo, Boyz II Men. I mean, I think I even went through like it wasn't soulful, but like Justin Timberlake is soulful to me. Like I went through that stage, you know, listening to that stuff. But yeah, like, I mean, there's so many. Yeah, but that's probably, I love storytelling of the old country stuff, but then when it comes to like vocal runs and stuff, I'm amazed by Brian McKnight and Babyface, all those guys.
Right.
That's where I draw my influence of vocal stuff from. You know.
I was never really much of a Sam Hunt fan until I watched actually Behind the Pines. I listened to that. That kind of changed me a little bit. But then I watched something on Audience where he was from, and he played football in Alabama. And I guess when he played or when he moved to Nashville, the first producer he found was super into R&B, and he's been with them ever since. So he was able to keep that. When I was watching him talk about just him being him, I thought that's what like totally changed the idea behind who Sam Hunt was to me in that sense, because I mean, Body Like a Back Road is what it is, but I listened to like his new album and I actually, I like it.
I tell you what, man, I mean, I've always liked his stuff, but I didn't have like I just thought it was another great song or whatever. And then when I tried to start covering his stuff, like the way he speaks and then sings and like that, that's very difficult, man. Like I give him big props for being able to, especially he's not doing it from learning it off of someone. You know what I mean? He's
just him. Yeah.
That's him doing it, you know? Like to try to like, I tried to learn some of those songs back when I was gigging in bars around. I was like, forget it. Like it's so hard.
That's funny. Did you listen to Behind the Pines? Have you listened to that album?
Yeah. It's not even on, or is it even available to get anymore? I don't think it is. I could be wrong. I feel like at one time you were able to download it, but then after a while you weren't able to. I can actually.
I'm looking right now to see if it's still on his.
I'm gonna see if it's in my.
It is. It's on Spotify. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the acoustic mixtape version of it. I mean, I look at the songs on there and listen to them, and it's a whole nother level. Like when you listen to Cop Car and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
His version
Right. Yeah, when you hear it, because all I know is Keith Urban doing it, but I did the same thing. Like I went back and listened. I was like, oh wow, okay, here we go.
Yeah, I mean, like William Michael Morgan doing "I Met a Girl." I went back and I used to love that song, and then when I heard Sam Hunt do it, I was like, I think I actually like the raw version better. But then I have a buddy. His name is Sparky, and he said something the other day that his favorite thing about him is just his play on words versus anybody else. Because that song "Ecstasy," you totally hear something different, but. Going into that, I mean, country music these days is all about the being relatable to people. So, I mean, I went back and truth be told, I'd never heard Laid Back before until today. Okay. Lips Like Liquor I heard before, and obviously I've heard Front Seat. But like, what did you write first? Laid Back, Lips Like Liquor? Which one came first?
Lips Like Liquor was actually Lips Like Liquor was a song, and a totally different, like a whole different song, and then it got like revamped into the song that it is now. Laid Back was after that. Front Seat fell after that. And then there's a brand new one. I did some writing with, so most of my writing is with Joe Jordan, which is a guy who's from Rhode Island. He moved down here to Cincinnati, and him and I teamed up, started writing stuff. I'll take credit for writing, being an okay writer, but he's like, his brain of writing is incredible. It's so, he has that same like play on word stuff, like with Laid Back, you know what I mean? Like he has that same, he can hear, I've always said it, he can hear like you and me, he could be sitting in this room listening to you and I talk and maybe write down like 5 ideas of songs from what we're saying that you and I would never even think of the song, you know what I mean? So, yeah, writing, I mean, I'm growing to be a writer, but I've never called myself like a writer, right? Like I'm not that guy who like sits down and just writes a song all by myself. Like I've done it, but I'm not, I'm not, the guy.
What's your favorite thing about like the music business? Is it, I mean, I'm going to guess it's not the writing portion. Is it recording or playing live or?
Live for sure. It's funny you asked me that. I was just on a call. I just came straight from work and I was on a call with my bass player and we were talking about that. I was like, God, man, I was like, I've been doing some stuff in the studio. I was like, but this whole quarantine thing is making me insane with the not getting to like be out and play live. You know what I mean?
Right.
I love all of it, but if I had to like put things in order, it's for sure live stuff. Just because I like people, I like meeting people, I like hanging out, and that atmosphere is like a big hang.
It is definitely. Have you played in Vegas before?
I have not, dude. I've never been to Vegas ever.
Oh shit! So that would have been your first trip, your first show.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think we're going to have to sit back down and reevaluate how you come out here. I don't think you can just come, because most of y'all come from, you guys fly in day of the show, spend the night, and take an early flight out the next day. You got to spend some time here, dude.
Right. No, I would love it. I think even my wife, I think she's been there, but she did it on like was like she was traveling somewhere and she came in for like the day and like literally like her layover was there, but it was like the whole day or something. Like she called the flight that night and left. So, but she's not even really seen it like big time, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably way different today than it is any other day. That's for sure. Because
Oh
a
yeah.
lot of my friends are getting on their skateboards and their bikes, and they're literally in the middle of the night. They're just riding down the strip. Something that you
Wow.
never ever could do before.
Right. I'm sure I hope that they're getting some sweet video of that.
Yeah, I mean, dude, it's all over the internet. It's kind of like the stuff that you see, and it's creepy. We haven't done it yet. We've gone up into the mountains and kind of like watch the sunset, do stuff that we haven't done before. But I think one of the things we need to do is just go take a cruise down the strip, turn it on live on Instagram, and just kind of like roll down.
Yeah, for real, man. Because the cool thing is too is that you'd probably be getting your like genuine reaction because it's something you've never really seen.
Right. Or thought I'd ever see. Right.
Exactly. Well, I mean, only thing that I can even remotely relate it to is somebody posted something today was a picture of downtown Nashville, like Broadway, you know, and it's just nothing there. Everybody, the lights are on, everything, but the streets.
Yeah, but nobody's home.
Exactly. Yeah. It's so weird, man.
I actually heard that some of the bars are going to start opening this week. So, I mean, I don't know. There's so many different aspects of it. I was just watching a piece this morning that I have a life coach that I've turned out to end up being a really good friend of mine. And she sent me something this morning and asked me thoughts on it. It had to do with Sweden and Sweden's approach to this whole thing. They never shut anything down. Kids still went to school. Everything was normal. And their, I don't know if it's called a curve, but their curve is pretty much the same as what everyone else's is. It's kind of like super weird, man.
I was asking, I always refer to my wife on this stuff because she's sort of like, she's not engrossed in it, but she pays attention.
Sure.
I don't really like watch all the numbers and everything. You know what I mean? How
I don't either.
Yeah. I'm like, I feel a little bit bad, but it's just not my nature. You know, I still it's funny because I'm sort of a homebody. So because I still have to go to work, things feel a little bit like normal.
Normal.
You know?
Right. Does your wife work?
Yeah, but her job has been at home. They moved she works in an office, so they moved everything at home. So and she already worked 2 days at home already, so she was already set up to do it. So for her, it's been
right. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm kind of the same. My girl actually, she works for one of the big casinos as a executive assistant for the CFO and the CEO, and so she's been working at home herself. And I wouldn't be surprised if she never went back to work, you know, in that sense, just because she's just as productive at home.
Well, it's funny because my wife's the same way. Like for me, if someone told me to come work at home, I would be not productive. Where she's just like on it. And her company is a company that like they're in with Amazon. They do their packaging for them. They make all the bubble
oh nice
things or whatever. So they've been crazy though during this time. You know what I mean?
Like Uline or something like that.
It's called Storo Pack. It's like airsoft pillow things, right. Whatever. Yeah, you open up a box, you probably have it in there.
Is she a critic of your music?
I wouldn't say critic. It's funny because she didn't like country music at all until we met. So it's like she started like entertaining the thought of even liking country music once we met. And then now, you know, she's like last night we sat down and listened to some new stuff that I just cut, and she was like giving me pointers on it and saying, you know, I don't know if I like this. It makes me feel like this, and then, you know, makes me feel like I'm in the 80s or whatever. And I'm like, okay, right. You know, and I want her to be that way, but she's not really. I think she feels like that I don't think that her opinion matters, but I do very much. And we actually had we had this conversation last night. I was like, I want you to tell me, like, if you don't like it, you know, tell me. And if you do like it, I want you to tell me that too, you know?
Sure. I think that someone that's close to you to be, to not have a biased opinion is probably the best and the most healthy for, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with her saying this makes me feel like I'm in the 80s, because it just seems like that's where we're heading back to.
Yeah, exactly. It's funny. It was such a today was a weird day because last night we sat down, listened to a new song that I just cut, and we were talking about the intro, and she was like, it feels like the 80s was keyboard stuff. And I was like, I know, I want it to be guitar. And then my management sent it back to me today and was like, it said in the email, it said, master, like it was mastered, you know. I'm like, oh crap, you know, I'm not going to get a chance to give my opinion on this part of it that I wanted to. And sure enough, I pushed play, started listening to it, and they switched the part to a guitar. It was the craziest thing.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. I said, does Mark have our house bugged? Did he like hear us talking about this last night?
Maybe Mark is Siri on your iPhone, dude. I
Yeah,
don't
that,
know.
or like I accidentally like left the Zoom call on and he heard the whole thing or something, you know.
We were it was funny, about 2 weeks ago we were walking around the house and I've been craving sushi. I ate lots of that stuff and I had some stuff in my freezer, so I'm like, you know what, I'll defrost some bluefin, I'll run by the Asian store and I'll pick up some soy paper so I can make, you
It'd
know,
make
it's like I can make a roll at home.
it impressive.
About 15, well, it was about 15 minutes, probably about 2.5 hours later, I get home and I'm on Instagram and I'm just like going through my feed. I got served an ad for a sushi roller and I went,
I know.
I bought it. That's the kicker, is I bought the damn thing.
I've said that, man. I've said that because like we'll be at work, the guys and I'll be at work, and we'll be in a conversation, and somebody will say something about something random, and then say, "Well, I'll just Google it," and then literally, dude, you type in the first letter, and it'll be like the thing that comes on there.
So I've been trying this. I've been saying that like, come on, Siri, I need a wheelbarrow, and it hasn't happened yet. But I keep trying it over and over again because that's so far out there that, you know what, you're not gonna get served an ad for a wheelbarrow. But
And so you've been saying that out loud, trying to get it to work.
yeah.
So what would be something should I try wheelbarrow too, or should I?
Dude, if wheelbarrow works, I freaking want to know.
What if I like one day I'm like on Instagram and I screenshot and send you a wheelbarrow ad?
I probably would freak out just a little bit because I mean, I'm not even joking about the sushi thing. I literally, and so the other thing we were joking about an above ground pool because I mean, we wanted one because we're all at home. The kid wants to get in the water and we're just like, whatever. So we went to a place called Big Lots and just to see if they had any. We get home. Yeah. We get home and all of a sudden she starts getting served ads for pools. And I'm just like, we didn't even search anything. We just went there. And I'm just like, and we talked about it. I don't know. I kind of freak out on all that stuff.
I hear about that. Like I hear about the, I don't know if it's like in like overseas or where it is, but I hear about those like face things where they know that like, I've heard that there's like kiosks like at places that when you walk past, it scans your face and knows and it'll put up ads that you're like, that you have searched and did. I mean, isn't that scary, man? It's crazy.
Man, I would hate to think that was face, but I know that they do it with geo-targeting. We do a lot of that stuff. Like right now, if I go to the Starbucks right on the corner from my house, my phone just pops up and it says Starbucks. And I'm just like, but it's all geo-tracking. I understand that, but I just,
yeah. I think to a certain degree of it, I just accept it because like, there's really nothing I can do about it.
Right.
You know?
Exactly. Have you guys binge watched any TV shows?
Yeah. The way that this has been, you know, everybody keeps saying binge watch, but basically you can just watch it like it's a normal show because it's like, how many Wednesdays are we going to be able to just be at home to watch, you know? So I watched Ozark. We had already been caught up on that, but when the new season came out, we watched it. And we made ourselves not binge watch it. We made it last like a week. So we kind of like every night at dinner we would sit down and watch that. I watched Shooter, which isn't a popular one at all because I just saw it. It popped up on my thing, and I've been watching that.
The movie, or is that a TV?
Well, it's a series on Netflix based off the movie.
Is it good?
It's all right. The first season was good. And I was into it because I'm into that sniper type thing. I thought it was cool. And then, but the second season is kind of like, just went like into like tactical stuff and not really just the sniper thing. So I don't think they can make a whole series about just sniper thing, but it's okay. It's okay.
All right.
I'm trying to think what else. I watched the Tiger King thing. I did watch that. Did you watch that?
I did. And you know, our busiest night at Stoney's is Thursday night, and it's ladies' night, and we do $2 drinks for the girls. And so I preface that for a reason because I got all this hype about Tiger King. I watched it about 2-3 weeks into all this crap. So we finally.
Yeah, I waited until it was like everybody. You know, I was the same way.
Yeah, until they were done talking about it. So my expectation was up here, and I watch it, and I'm like, God, that's just like a ladies' night at Stoney's, all the drama and shit. I mean, I wasn't totally blown away, but I was like, I wouldn't watch it again, but whatever.
I don't know if it's true or not. I'm on a text thread with about 10 of my buddies, and they're always like, at any time during the day, there could be 50 messages on there. But someone sent a thing today, and it was on a legit news website that they're having a mini series, and I think Nicolas Cage is playing. Yeah. Is that true?
I saw that too. So I don't know. It seems like whenever he acts in a movie, he's the same dude. So we'll see. I don't know.
feel like that. I feel like that nothing good can come in. I think it's just like to capitalize on.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Because I mean, it's the hottest thing. Like So I
Yeah.
think that it's just capitalizing on the.
He lives here in Vegas, so he probably maybe had a bad gambling, stint. So maybe he owes some people some money, so he's gonna do a movie again. I don't know. Have you what did you think of Ozarks?
I mean, I love that show.
Yeah,
Do you watch it?
absolutely.
Um,
I watched it from the beginning, I think, like you did, and then season 3 we finally just watched.
what the bad thing I do about shows is I don't pay attention to the dynamics to when, like, how most people like know, like, oh, this is the final episode. You know what I'm saying? I don't really do that. I'm just watching it, and I'm like, I get really engrossed in it, and then I don't know if I don't want to say what happened at the end, but because I don't know who's gonna see this,
Sure.
but when that happened at the end, and I think you know what I'm talking about,
Yep.
I was like, what the heck just happened? You know what I mean? Like, and then I was like, and then it dawned on me, like, crap, I'm not gonna be able to watch this anymore because this is the last one. You know what I mean? So I was like a little bit frustrated,
Well, I think they were saying August 21 is when the next one comes out.
Golly, man.
That's a long
Do you
way.
watch Billions?
I don't, but you know what? I have it written down because I've been told to watch Atypical, Hunters. I don't know what that one's called.
I started watching Outer Banks. It's more of a younger show, but
We watched it.
I like it.
I liked it. I liked it because it was youthful.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, I have young boys, so they've been watching it with me a little bit too. So they've been kind of, hanging out, and there's like some things that are going to be like what they're going to be facing down the road. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's been kind of cool to watch that with them.
I
Bill is awesome, man. I love that show. Love it.
Yeah, I was told to watch Righteous Tombstones. I've never watched Yellowstone, and I guess I'm supposed
I love that too, man.
Yeah, I've never.
I'm all caught up on it too. But it's Kevin Costner, so you can't you can't that movie. It can't be bad. You know what I mean?
You have to.
Plus, he's a cowboy, so.
Yeah, definitely. That's what I keep being told. And I was told to watch Slow Ride Home too if I just need to kill some time.
Is that a movie or a show?
I believe it's a show. It's about some kids that get on scooters and they drive from the East Coast to the West Coast.
What? Hey, do you watch Peaky Blinders on
No. Good? All right. I've been told that multiple times to watch that, but we're actually watching Money Heist right now.
Never heard of it.
It's based in Spain, and they rob the bank there, and they're all dressed in red with the mask.
Wait, I stopped watching it because don't they have their mouths don't move with the
Yeah,
I stopped watching it. I couldn't handle it. I watched the first episode and I couldn't handle the lineup.
It's super weird, but I think that I
can give it a chance.
Yeah, you know what? I got past the first one because I had the same thing, and then I just started watching, and I wanted to see how they were getting away with it. But I think what I liked about it is the professor is so smart. He's just so smart. So when you think he's screwed, he's already thought of it. So we're on season 3 right now.
Okay, I'll give it a chance because what happened was that's funny about that is that I started watching it like around dinner time. My wife comes and sits down, and she's like, "What do you got on?" And I'm like, "It's just a new show. I don't know. I'm just trying to watch it." So we started watching it. We're like 15 minutes in, and she goes, "Is it just me, or are their mouths not matched up to the?" Or she said something, you know what I mean? And I didn't even notice, you know what I mean? And I'm like, "They're not." She ruined it for me. I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" Now that's all I can see, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you gotta be kidding me.
I think it's easy to watch because you can multitask at the same time. Because if that mouth thing bothers you, but like. I don't know. I keep watching it because I just want to know how far they're going to get away with stuff. That's kind of.
Yeah, I'll go back. I'll give it another shot because that was literally it wasn't that I didn't like the idea of the show. It was just that's happened and I was like, crap. Now this is
right. I don't even pay attention to it anymore. I'm so far past it. But here's what's funny is I bought a sound bar for the TV in the bedroom, and I use the optical link to it. Well, when I watch TV through my soundbar, there's like a half a second delay, and it drives me bananas. But I can watch.
You can watch that too.
I can watch the Money Heist. I don't. Maybe
it's because it's just a different language, and they can.
Right.
I don't know.
Dude, so in music, what do you think about new country music? Obviously, you grew up listening to R&B and classic country, and now you're into a world where there are so many genres within just the one genre of country. Do you love that it's that far open?
I mean, yeah, for me, I mean, I know it's I guess as a type of music that I do, it probably would. I'm gonna say the typical answer of that I don't mind thing because that would probably affect me in a way. But I mean, honestly, man, my career just really, everybody thinks overnight success stuff's happened, but I've been chugging along with this for a long time,
Right.
but never been, I've never been opposed to the new stuff. You know what I mean? I remember seeing Fort Georgia Line when they played at Brick Street, opened up for Jake Owen, and I literally bought their EP from Tyler at the
Right.
product table, and like that was like a new sort of generation of music coming in the country and stuff like that. I mean, if you think about it, man, it's inevitable. It happens. I mean, Garth Brooks, even though Garth Brooks sounds country to a lot of people, I mean, Garth Brooks was that guy back in that day. I mean, a lot of people probably don't really know it, but he was hated by a lot of people because they were like, what is this? I don't know what you want to call it. I mean, but then that was like pop to those
Sure.
country people. You know what I mean? So it doesn't bother me by any means, but I also personally have I just told you, I listen to classic country. I listen to freaking R&B. So it's like, I don't have that tunnel vision on it. And I know, I understand. I do understand when people have that opinion. I understand where they're coming from,
Yeah, it's funny that I saw Garth Brooks way back in the day, and I think that I also saw Alan Jackson way back in the day, within the same year, I believe. And although I enjoyed Alan Jackson's music better, I could not stand his live show because it was so boring. And then
Right.
you go see Garth Brooks, and you get this show.
Right.
To me, that's what that was.
No, I get it, man. I mean, and that's the thing. I just try to be like, the thing about it is, man, it's funny because I don't get a lot of hate mail, and it's funny. I got a message today that was just like, dude, I heard your song today for the first time, and it was trash. You should have seen my face, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, sitting there for a second, I'm like, man, music is so subjective. You know what
Sure.
I mean? It's just like anything, So it's like, you can't really, your opinion is your opinion. It really doesn't matter. You know what I mean? It does, but it doesn't. You know what I mean? It matters to you, basically. That's it,
We have I get 10 of those a day through Country AF Radio. They're like, this isn't real country. Luke, and I think the greatest thing is when they say Luke Combs isn't real country, and I just like sit back and I'm like, dude, he's
like the realest country right now.
Yeah, like,
you know what I mean? Right.
Yeah, and he goes back and he tells a story and he plays the guitar and he sips out of a red cup and dips out of a red cup. I mean, like,
I know, man.
And he's not he's not the in shape, good looking guy. And that's why I just sit back and I'm like, dude, maybe go listen to it. And then, but I don't, we call ourselves Country AF, and every now and then I get back and I'll get online and I'll be AF and I'll just have fun, and but there's other times when I'm just like, it's not even worth the time because you're never going to be able to please everybody.
You can't. That's the thing, man. You can't, country radio is never going to please everybody. Pop radio is never going to please everybody. You know what I mean? So.
Well, country radio continues to please the same 12 to 14 artists because that's all they play on country radio. You don't have to say shit. I can, because that's why Country AF is around, is because, I mean, it's frustrating. The end of the day is it's frustrating. I was on, before all this started, I was working on a thing. So all these interviews I put on a website called.
You're like an artist's best friend /
Yes. Yeah, exactly. I'm not your PR guy, so you're fine.
My manager tomorrow will be like, why did you laugh at that? You should not have laughed at that.
That was him. I was on a big conglomerate. What do they call it? A conglomerate website of country stations. And there was 5 of them up there. They had a bunch of stations, but 5 country. And 3 of the 5 were playing the same song. And I was like, dude, that should tell you something right there. If you look at all 5 of your stations and 3 of them are playing the same song, there's a problem. And there's so many artists out there, man. So noon to 3 every day, I play on the station nothing but brand new music. And if I hear something that I like, or an artist sends me a single, the first question is, if I like it, I'm like, dude, can I play this? So Austin Burke, you know who that is?
Yeah.
He's got a song that Thomas Rhett wrote and Thomas Rhett produced, and he's singing it. It's called Young Love. I've been playing it for like 3 weeks now, and it doesn't come out till like June or July.
Really?
Yes. And that's like, so for us, Country AF Radio is twofold. We get new music out there, but it's a marketing arm for Stonies. So like a guy by the name of Nate Moran came out and played Stonies, and he's never been on radio.
So how did you get involved with Stonies? Like, are you
I've been with them almost 13 years.
really?
But my background is music. I mean, I've been in the music industry for some. My favorite thing to show.
Let's see it.
Can you see that?
Oh, the Killers. Wow, no way.
Yeah, I helped them get their record deal.
Really? Very cool, man.
I had a website here in Vegas called LV Local Music Scene, and what I do now at Stonies, I used to do on a different level. I used to four-wall the House of Blues here in town, take a band from Vegas, one from San Diego, one from LA, and we would swap shows around and do little routes. And just because of the best band from Vegas could draw 1,000 people, and then the LA band could do that in LA, and the San Diego band could do that in San Diego. It was just a win-win. So
very cool, man.
That's what I used to do. So for Stonies, I actually just started out doing all their creative flyers and do their website and their email campaigns. And then I just kind of like worked my way through the system, and always been good friends with the owners. And kind of like now, me and the owner, there's only one owner. We kind of sit back and share the booking, and he's a fan of new music just like I am. He likes the Southern rock stuff, where I'm just about into everything.
Right, I got you. Are you guys, so for the booking stuff, how far do you guys book out?
Well, really depends. Right now, I've legit.
The reason what I'm getting at is like, so with your shows that are getting jacked up right now during this time, it's going to be tough to get them. It's going to be tough to reschedule stuff because you're probably already booked out though, right? For like when this.
Yes and no. So when all this started in March, we were just getting into August is where we were at. Cause we're not, I mean, our capacity's 1163. We just call it 1200. But the reality is like, I don't have big, huge artists, so we don't have to get that far out in advance. But I've moved stuff like, I had Tyler Rich, and I just moved him to October 16th. I had, today I had Muscadine Bloodline. It was supposed to be the middle of June. I just moved them to October 23rd. Did the same thing with Austin Burke, moved him to September, the end of, and your show actually got moved to September as well.
September,
September 18th.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm the first one to know that. I think maybe not. Maybe they just haven't told me yet. I could probably put the iCalendar probably on there.
They had me move it and put a hold on it. It's not confirmed yet, but it is a hold. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of like I was kind of hoping. I have a show June 12th that I was kind of hoping was going to go, but we're probably gonna have to move that one too. I don't even know anymore.
So how close are you letting them get before you guys have to move them? 3 weeks, a month or so? Or
well, you know what's funny is if I look, the only one that I really have on the books right now is June 12th. Everything else I've kind of moved.
So that's a little bit just a little bit over a month away.
Yeah, and it's Randall King. I don't know if you know who that is.
I do not.
He's probably 90% of the artists you probably won't know because we like the new people.
Oh, that's cool, man. That's cool.
I mean,
yeah, it's funny because I looked at I was looking at a sheet. It was some Google document today of the times that you have available to do these things.
Yep. Yeah.
And I thought that you like had a co-host, or that you were like putting like a different host for each of those slots, you know?
Right.
I asked the lady, I said, Jamise, I said, so am I doing this interview? Like, what is this the person's name? And she goes, no, those are all artists. And I was like,
yeah.
Don't I feel sheepish? I was like, I didn't know any of the names. I was like, okay, I'm sorry. I didn't know.
Dude, it's funny because like I just pulled it up. Stevie Montz. Probably never heard of. No. He hangs out with Tyler Reeves. That's like one of his best friends. Stephen Barker Lyles from Love and Theft, great friends. CJ Solar, you know who that is? Nope. He's a guy that wrote Up Down for Morgan Wallen.
Oh, is he the writer on it or just a writer?
One of the writers. I think there was 3.
Okay, I got you.
Hannah Dasher. You don't know who that is?
I've heard the name.
She is she's managed by Neil from Cadillac 3.
Okay.
Scotty Alexander, probably don't know. Sam Grow on his way up. Stephen Carey, also managed by Neil Mason from the
I've heard that is he the only one in that band that does a lot of managing stuff?
I want to say Jaron's involved in some stuff too.
It's funny because I always hear that them brought up when like, I always hear that name drop. Okay, like we got this manager, blah blah blah. You know what I mean?
Dude, it's crazy because last ACMs last year I did a show with Ray Fulcher and Austin Jinx. They were on the show, and I was talking to Neil on the phone. He's like, dude, I need about an hour and 20 minutes. I'll be right back to you again. But he was doing their guest list. He was doing their pre-production stuff. I'm like sitting back doing it, and then you're going to go get on a stage. And I've watched that boy drink before. So I'm like, I don't know how he does it.
Right.
Chris Bandy? What? Go ahead.
it makes you feel like that you're like not getting enough done, right?
I'm secondary compared to that dude. Like, and I do a lot. That dude. You know who Chris Bandy is, though, right? He's with Jamise.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I'm like, so I interviewed this kid named Bailey Littrell last week. You ever heard of him?
Oh,
So you said earlier about Justin Timberlake. Well, Bailey's dad was in Backstreet Boys.
really?
It's Brian. Yeah. So
Really?
I'm like sitting here doing this, and all of a sudden, right out of the corner right here, his head pops in, and he comes over the top and just is like, "What's up, dude?" I'm like, "Holy shit!"
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty freaking neat. But I mean, I'll go back to like artists like Brett Young. I shook his hand and booked a show with him, and he played at Stoney's, and now he's a monster. Ashley McBride, 2 weeks after she played Stoney's, she blew up. Luke Combs played at Stoney's too.
Cool, man. Yeah, I love it, man. There's been some places that I've gotten to grace the presence of, where I'll be talking to the owner or something like back in the office, and he'll be like, man, he's like, we really try to handpick who we have here, and I want you to know that so and so has been here and so and so's been here, and like we really believe in you, and that's cool, man. It's like, wow, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. When you do come out to Vegas and you walk the back hallway from the load in to your green room, there's a wall, and a lot of the artists that have played there, we have their posters up on the wall. We have you guys sign them, we put up on the wall, so everyone that comes through can actually get an idea of the artist. Like Russell Dickerson played at Sony 7 times. Like,
Really?
yeah, we champion that dude in this market big time. So it's kind of like, that's kind of what we like to do. I mean,
no, it's awesome, man. And honestly, I mean, I love that. When I go to those places and have that vibe, it's like, those are the places you remember too. You know what I mean?
And we're fans. That's the other side of it. I've had a tour manager come up to me after his band got on the stage and said, dude, can we saddle up? And I remember that night like it was yesterday, and I just went, I don't just book, I just don't, promote and get the show going, but I'm also a fan. So let me watch my show.
And then I'll pay
afterwards. And then I'll go get your check. You guys ain't going anywhere.
He's probably thinking like, oh man, if they screw up, he's gonna hold his check.
I don't think that's one thing we've never done. We've had one artist in there that was drunk and she got up on the stage. That was a bad night. But other than that, we've been very, very blessed,
That's good, man.
It's not anything crazy. You feel like playing some, what's that?
You guys run a good shop out there. It's cool.
You know what? The sound is phenomenal. I'm not saying our sound guy is really good, but our sound guy is really good. But the room is awesome. It's just fun. It's a neat environment, and
very cool, man.
And they love to dance. You feel like playing some music today?
Sure, man. I'll do whatever you want. I can play some live stuff. I can even give you a sneak peek of some new stuff coming out that
Let's do it. Well, obviously for the listeners, I'm sure they're going to want to hear Front Seat. So if we could do that one, and then I would love to hear a brand new one.
Do you want to do Front Seat first?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Let me see if this is on here. I don't play Front Seat on the guitar, so let me see if I'm linked up here to my thing. And boom, boom, boom. Let me see if it starts. Let's see. It all went to sleep while we were talking for so long.
Dang it.
There it is.
There it is. I like it.
Was that volume decent?
Yeah, that actually volume was perfect.
I'm gonna give your sound man a run for his money.
Well, not this one, but when you do come in, he tours with the Killers right now as well. So whenever they go on the road, he's like their playback guy. And if you run ears, every single artist that has played at Stoney's has said, and I keep telling them, don't tell Matt that you like the sound coming out of the ears, because his head just goes
getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Is he like, so he's known for good in-ear mixes? Is that what he's known for?
Absolutely.
Hey, that's a good thing to be known for.
I will agree 1000%.
Yeah, man. All right, you ready to do this?
Let's do it.
He makes you sit in the backseat when his boys call shotgun. Type of guy looking for the next best thing when he's already got one. I can tell he takes you for granted, but you're the prettiest thing on the planet. I ain't saying you belong with me, but you belong in the front seat of any car. You should be the DJ singing like a rock star. Shouldn't be alone in the back.
Baby, you're better than that. You belong on the right side of the right guy. That puts you first, 'cause you're the grand prize. And I ain't saying you belong with me, but you belong in the front seat. He said, not tonight, baby, can't make it. Yeah, you know, should know. Curls your hair and wearing that new dress that never lays eyes. You can tell he doesn't need you. Girls in front of him, you're in the rear view. I can't say you belong with me, but you belong in the front seat of any car. You should be the DJ singing like a rock star. Shouldn't be alone in the back. Baby, you're better than that. You belong on the right side of the right guy. That puts you first, 'cause you're the grand prize. And I ain't saying you belong with me, but you belong in the front seat. You know it's getting harder, and it's like you're drowning in the water, and it feels like you need a new life. You could hop in the front seat of my heart, anywhere, anytime you want. You could be my queen, sitting on your throne, girl, you know you got one. You belong in the front seat of my car. You could be the DJ, singing like a rock star. You'll never be alone in the back. Girl, I'll treat you better than that. You belong on the right side of my right arm. Falling asleep when the ride's on. And Lord, I pray that it could be me. Riding with you in the front seat. Girl, you belong in the front seat. Oh.
Dude,
Yeah,
that was dope, dude.
man.
So I read online that you wrote that kind of like just like as an homage to dudes, like to step up their game and stuff like that.
I try to, like I said earlier, I have boys, and it's like my pops was very, like, my mom and dad were married for like 40 years and stuff before she passed, and it's like the relationship wasn't always perfect, but you know, my dad was always like super chivalrous, you know what I mean? Always
Right.
the flower guy and hold the door open and let me get the door for you, hon, you know, all that stuff. So it's kind of been like embedded in my brain. I'm not perfect at it all the time, but I try to be. And it's just like, I don't think that that's gone, but there's a lot of young men that don't and I'm not saying that they have to be so extreme, but there are a lot of younger men are extreme in the opposite way. You know what I mean?
I can tell you I've been with my girlfriend for 3.5 years and she's not once opened a door. Not once. Not when, and her daughter is 11 and she's the same way. We'll walk into a place, she'll just go and stand right in front of the door and wait for me. It's kind of cute, but
yeah, no, and that's funny too, because that's how my wife is too. Like she for a while it was weird for her because, you know, she would always be like, I would always get mad. I'd be like, let me get the door or whatever, you know. So now it's like she goes, stands and waits for the door to be opened, which I think is a good thing. You know what I mean?
I think it's great. I mean, I love it that the kid that's 11 has picked up on it and she's just like,
right.
yeah.
And it's, you know, the song was never, and I've always tried to express that the song was never to like be bashing at all towards guys. You know, it's just like, I feel like it's just, and I've even gone as far as saying, like, if you really want to just think about the song, it's, you know, it's just treat one another with respect and just be like good to each other. You know what I mean? Chivalrous is a word we use for like a guy-girl thing, but like even as buddies, you should treat one another with respect and with worth. You know what I mean?
Heck yeah. I always treat people the way I want to be treated. I learned that a long time ago. So
yeah, man.
If I'm being a douche, it's because you were a douche.
I hear you.
You got, you said you have a new song.
Yeah. Well, do you want to hear? So I just got the master back today. Do you want me to? I don't think I'll get in trouble for playing it. Do you want me to play like? Do you want me to play something? I can play a new song play wise, or I can listen to some. Like, whatever you want.
That's kind of tough, man. I don't.
We do a little bit of both. We can do a little bit. How much time we have? What are we doing? How long are we on?
Whatever,
Okay.
dude. I'm easy.
This is new. This is so we wrote this a while back, but I haven't promoted it yet, but we just released it to Amazon or to Apple Music, and it should be on Spotify next week.
What's it called?
Same boat. So basically this song is just, a song about no matter what we're going through and what chaos is going on and things like that, or if your dude just broke up with you, or if you had a flat tire last week or whatever it was, we all have shit going on, but we're all in the same boat at the end of the day, so
yeah.
That's why it's same boat. So I'll play that one for you.
Let's do it.
Yeah, we're all just floating around this big old rock in the middle of space, trying to get through life, just trying to get by. Yeah, we've all got mountains trying to climb. It's one big race to the finish line, and so it might help you know that we're all in the same boat, just going down the same road. So take a little love, pass it around. It ain't too hard to show. You're gonna learn things the hard way, and you're gonna have some hard breaks. So if you're going through hell, you ain't going through it alone. Yeah, we're all in the same boat, yeah. Yeah, tires pop and hearts get broke. If it ain't you with someone you know is true, what the hell can you do? Sometimes all it takes is a helping hand. A few kind words every now and then will go far. Oh no, it really ain't that hard. We're all in the same boat, just going down the same road. So take a little love, pass it around. It ain't too hard to show. You're gonna learn things the hard way, and you're gonna have some hard breaks. So if you're going through hell, you ain't going through it alone. Yeah, we're all in the same boat, yeah. Sometimes it rains and the waves are crashing down. Sometimes we all gotta grab a pail and bail it on out. Yeah, I said we're all in the same boat. Yeah, we're all in the same boat. Oh, there's gonna be some hard roads. Some things only God knows. But if you're going through hell, you ain't going through it alone. Said if you're going through hell, you ain't going through it alone. Yeah, we're all in the same boat, yeah. I said we're all in the same boat. Oh, don't you know we're all in the same boat? Oh.
Dude, like, I'm just gonna say that I don't think that there's a better time for that song to come out than right now.
Right. That's why we released and kind of put it out. Yeah. So
Right.
to it. Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome. I like the idea of it because it's like it's relatable for unfortunately right now.
Yeah, I know. And the funny thing is we didn't write it during these times. It was kind of, we had it from the EP early, and then we were like, as we started playing it out and stuff, we were like, you know what, this is a good song for the time right now. So we thought we'd put it out there.
And you said next week it'll be on Spotify?
Yeah.
Dig it.
We're trying to wait until the platforms get to, everybody's kind of in the same thing, and then we're gonna promote it a little bit and just let everybody know it's out.
I'm gonna have to ask Jamise. What's that?
You guys are kind of getting a little sneak peek of that information.
Right. I'm gonna have to ask Jamise to send me some of that music so we can get it on the station, you know?
Yeah, man, for sure, man.
Heck yeah, that's what I'm saying. Well, sweet. Well, dude, I appreciate the time. Did you say you have one? What's the song that just got mastered that came back?
So we're getting ready to do a thing on social media where we're gonna take 3 of the songs off the EP, and we're gonna put them out there and let everybody kind of like vote. And we don't know exactly how we're gonna do the tally or whatever.
Right.
We're gonna try to like let people give their input on what they think the next single is gonna be.
Right.
But this is one of the choices that is possibly gonna be Well, this will definitely be one of the 3 that we're going to use to put out there. But it's called Last Name, and it's got a little twist on words in it too. So let me play a little bit of it. Maybe like verse chorus or something. You with that?
Perfect.
Good.
I love the way your hair dances when the wind blows. Yeah, the way your sundress waves hello as you walk on by. Love your dollar store sunglasses hanging on the end of your nose. You got that thrifty city mixed up kind of style. And oh, you got it going on from head to toe. There's just one thing about you, girl, you gotta know. I don't like your last name. I think you need a new one. And I've been holding on to mine. Baby, if you want one. And I ain't good at speaking my mind. You know my words never come out right. So baby, read between the lines when I say I don't like your last name.
Dude, that is so dope. That is so dope.
Yeah,
I like it.
Man. Good.
I mean that.
Be honest.
What's that?
I said, be honest. Don't just tell me.
Okay, I'm gonna teach you something about me right off the bat. Ask Chris Bandy how I when someone asks me a question about music, if I like it or not. He'll.
Hey, good, man,
Yeah.
good.
I mean, if I don't like it, I don't like. That goes along with that saying. There's only 2 things you want to change about a woman, right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, her address and her last name. That's it.
That's right. Yeah,
Dude,
So-
I dig it. It's catchy too.
thanks, man. I'm digging it. Like I said, I was already like super excited about it, and then they changed some stuff that I didn't even have to ask for them to change. I was like, and I heard it today. I was like, oh, this is awesome. I love it.
That's awesome. Talk about new music, dude. That's what new music is all about right there.
Exciting, man. Thank you so much for having me, man.
Dude, I appreciate you taking the time. I'm glad it worked out. And I will look forward to, what did I say?
You said September 12th, 11th, something like that.
Oh, dude, I got so many windows. Okay, where am I at here? That's a Google Doc, not that one. Okay, artist schedule. I have you down.
You have hold for September 11th.
September 18th.
18th. Okay.
18th, yes. And
I'm saying September 11th because September 11th is like the bad day that we all remember. Like
it is. And you know what?
That's why I'm saying that date.
I had an artist in January ask me for that date.
Really?
Yeah, because he's coming out for a wedding. And he plays at Stoney's every now and then. He's going to be in town for a wedding. And he thought it would be kind of cool to do. I'm like, you can have that because that's a tough one to book, man. Dude, I appreciate the time. It was great getting to know you. I cannot wait until we get to kick it in Vegas. And do you eat sushi?
Yeah, for sure, man.
So here's the deal. If your wife even comes, sushi's my treat when you guys get to town.
That'd be great, man. Awesome.
Yeah, that'll be that'll be the night of dinner of the show. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I would love to come out for a day or something before, you know what I mean? Not just like play the show and get out of there. Maybe, you know what I mean? Maybe we'll figure something out.
Do you deal with Cahill over is that William Morris?
I'm William Morris. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Cahill. No, that's Alex.
Yeah.
Alex. Like when you talk to Alex, tell him that not to book anything the day before or the day after.
Do you know Brian Crothers too?
I do.
Yeah. So he's the one that does most of my stuff too, I think.
Right. I think I actually booked your show through Alex because he's West Coast.
Right. Right. They're like in regions or whatever. Right.
Yes. Yeah. So like I'm saying, when this thing gets put together, let's make sure you don't have a show the day before or the day after, and then we're. Yeah.
You know how it is though. Sometimes they're just like they want you everywhere. Like,
right. Well, I mean,
I can't complain. No, I don't even mean like all the venues. It's just like the management and booking. They're just like, can you be here? Can you do morning show, afternoon show, tonight show? Let's please.
Right. Well, usually what happens on Fridays, if we have 2 country stations here that like to piggyback on our stuff. So
very cool though.
Yeah, it works for you guys. Sweet. Well, thanks again for the time. I look forward to Vegas.
Yeah, I can't wait, man. I have a tour guide, so I'm excited.
I'll see you soon, man. Enjoy your time at home, and thanks for still working, I guess, right?
I hear you, man. Yeah, thanks, man. Take care, man.